When assets are owned personally, there are two ownership structures that you need to be aware of. The first one is whether the asset is owned jointly with someone else as joint tenants, and the second one is whether you own an asset jointly with someone as tenants in common. Under both of these ownership structures, it's possible to have many more than two owners, although most commonly there are only two owners of a jointly owned asset, normally a spouses to a life relationship. Where an asset is owned as joint tenants, the arrangement is centred around the concept of a right of survivorship. This means that whenever one of the owners dies, it is the last to die that is entitled to the entire asset. Conceptually, this is akin to the registered owner, or both of the registered owners, essentially being entitled to 100% of the assets, so long as they outlive everybody else. In contrast to a joint tenant ownership, tenants in common gives each of the owners a discrete interest in the underlying asset. They're entitled to this discrete interest unilaterally under their own estate plan. In Australia, most home ownership is between couples, structured on a joint tenant basis. And this doesn't necessarily mean that it's appropriate in every situation, but it's a key starting point in any estate planning exercise to understand how all jointly owned assets are owned. In other words, are the assets owned as joint tenants, or are the assets owned as tenants in common? And then thinking about which structure is in fact appropriate.